Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan, and the topic of this 10-minute moan is the absolutely disgusting things that are surrounding this year's Remembrance Day, how sad it is, and why this simply shouldn't be happening. So I woke up this morning to a Daily Mail article telling us that the SAS are mounting its biggest counter-terrorism operation in decades to protect Remembrance Day, amid fears of disruption by radical Islamists and, for the first time, this word I've seen used, radical left. Because when the news started coming out last night about certain groups wanting to counter-protest at Remembrance Days, the automatic default setting in a lot of replies I seen was these people should be deported. But you can't deport people that are British, because the feeling was that this must be foreigners that are organising these things. That's simply not true. Actually, a lot of them have been organised by British citizens to counter-protest. Imagine putting a counter-protest to a Remembrance celebration. And what disgusts me more is, in Britain, we have to, I think the right word to use, we have to be considerate for a full month now for things like Black History Month. We have to be respectful in Islamophobic Awareness Month. Yet all the British people ask for in terms of respecting war dead is a couple of minutes, early November, once a year. Minutes, that's all it is. A minute's silence and some sombre reflection laying reefs. And others just cannot abide that. And if you feel that you have to have protests and pay respect to people that have died in Palestine, then that's fine, that's your prerogative. There's 365 days in a year, and there's 52 weekends in a year. It's incomprehensible that you could actually do these things on another day. And then it's the timing of them, and people suggesting that you should meet up in towns and cities across Britain just before 11 o'clock. It's just disgusting, to be perfectly honest with you. And the fact that our SAS now need to mount our biggest counter-terror operation in decades tells you it's far more serious than people just wanting to be dishonourable to war dead. And these people probably don't even realise why and what the 11th of November's all about and how it came to pass. And the worst war probably in the history of wars, certainly one of the most barbaric, was the First World War. And after months of attempted peace, the actual agreement for peace was on the 11th of November. Early in the morning that day, after days of negotiation, it was about 5 o'clock the agreement was passed, and it was about 20 past 5 by the time all the signatories were received to sign off in peace. But for some reason they decided, maybe some romantic idea, that peace should not start until 11 o'clock, so we could remember it as 11th hour, 11th day, 11th month. And that to me just sounds mental, but maybe that's because of modern life, modern world that I live in, that if that was to happen today, we could all know within minutes that peace, and we could get messages to everybody. So I don't know if it was maybe a practical reason that they couldn't just say that's it, war's over. But they decided that it would take till 11 o'clock. On that last day of war, there was 10,000 people maimed and injured, and 2,700 died. Think about that. Because they had to wait until 11 o'clock before we would have peace. And there was some horrific stories. There's stories of some companies in the army artillery thinking they got the orders before 11, and if we have shells left after 11, we'll need to cart them all the way back ourselves. So we as well just firing them. Men that lost their life, 2,700 from memory. And that's what we're remembering, and the hundreds of thousands of other people. And then after the Second World War, these memorial events encompassed them. And now we remember soldiers from all wars, modern Falklands, Korea, Afghanistan, Iraq, etc. And I just don't understand why any normal thinking human being would think that that's not an acceptable request for the vast majority of British people, that they're allowed a moment of silence to remember these people and a few moments to discuss them. It just beggars belief. It absolutely disgusts me. And unfortunately, although the default setting is that must be foreign people, it's actually no. There will be foreign people involved today across Britain, disrupting. Not even just let folk do what they want. If they wanted, if I want to stand in silence for a minute, a cenotaph anywhere in the United Kingdom, then just let me. It's a minute. But some folk are just not happy with that. And if they are foreign, I would deport them. I would actually consider it treason, to be perfectly honest with you, for people who are British and can't let other British people, and not just British people, people from all over the world hold remembrance on this day. And it's disgusting that anybody can't allow them to do that. And just before we sign off, I just came across these stories this morning about 4 or 5 men, and I'll just share them with you because this is a dot of the type of things that people are remembering today. Augustin Trebuchet, I believe that's how you say it, was the last Frenchman to die when he was shot on his way to tell fellow soldiers who were attempting an assault across the river that hot soup would be served after the ceasefire. He was killed in 1045. Marcel Terf was the last Belgian soldier to die. He was mortally wounded by machine gun fire and died from a lung wound at 1045. Earlier that day, the last British soldier to die, George Edwin Ellison. And this was the 5th Royal Irish Lancers, was killed that morning around 9:30 while scouting outside the outskirts of Mons in Belgium. The final Canadian and indeed Commonwealth soldier to die was Private George Lawrence Price, who was shot and killed by a sniper while part of a force advancing in the Belgian town of Ville-sur-Aisne, just 2 minutes before the armistice to the north of Mons at 10:58. Henry Gunter, an American, is generally recognised as the last soldier to be killed in action. He was killed 60 seconds before the armistice came into force, while charging astonished German troops who were aware of the armistice. He had been despondent over his recent reduction in rank and was apparently trying to redeem his reputation. The last German to die, though time is not fully known, is believed to have been a lieutenant by the name of Thomas, at times shortly after or shortly prior to 11 o'clock. He exited his trench and began to walk across no man's land to inform the Americans that the armistice had just gone into effect and that his soldiers would soon be evacuating their trenches. The Americans, who had not yet heard the news of the armistice, opened fire, killing them instantly. Isn't it mental? And there are some of the 2,700 that died in the last day, out of hundreds of thousands that died during the war. And all we British people and people around about, other allied countries, it's just a minute or two, once a year, to pay respects and consider how horrific war is. And it's probably remembering people like this for over 100 years now probably works into the psyche of people and possibly could have prevented more wars in the last 100 years. And some people want to disrupt that. It's disgusting. It's wrong. And I actually believe it should be illegal. So, enjoy your Armistice Day. Enjoy your Remembrance Day, or however you want to discuss it. And if you want to wear a white poppy or a Palestine coloured poppy for any other reasons, then do it. I mean, crack on and do it. Pick any other day but the 11th of November. Cheerio, bye now.
Everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.